Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video. We are here today and I'm going to be uploading this video before the Cup Series race at Pocono, whether that be today or today, which would be Saturday, or tomorrow Sunday. I'm hoping to get this out before the Pocono Cup Series race. But today's video we're going to be going over um, the halfway review, I guess, of the NASCAR Cup Series season in 2025 and how I feel every driver has done as of the making of this video. So, without further ado, let's get into it. As you see, we have the part-time tier for all these part-time rides, which is why we have that. We're only ranking the 36 charter drivers this year that are attempting the full season. So starting out, we have Ross Chastain, and I'm going to put him in exceeding expectations. The reason I'm putting him there is because Trackhouse isn't what the team they once were in 2022 when they made the championship with Ross Chastain. They've been kind of slowly on the decline. Obviously, Ross got that win in the Coca-Cola 600, which secured his spot in the postseason. Maybe Ross will show us something. I mean, he's top 10 in the points, but I don't see him making a deep playoff run. I definitely believe, though, that Ross Chastain could maybe be a round of 12, round of 8 driver if circumstances play into his favor. So, for that, I say just for Trackhouse speed alone, I think Ross is exceeding expectations. I'm going to put Austin Cindric here. The reason I'm putting Cindric in the same category as Chastain is because, I mean, I don't know. Do I want to move him down a tier? I feel like I remember looking at his stats recently, and they look a little similar to last year. I definitely feel like he's been up front a lot more often than not. I think he has a better average start. So I feel like yeah, qualifying, depending where the track is, like it could be good for stage points and everything. But I'm gonna keep Cindric here because I definitely think Austin's kind of figured out the next gen car a little bit now. I mean, he obviously won a plate race at Talladega, which, I mean, a super speedway win is a super speedway win. Um, but I definitely feel like Cindric's been running a little better than he has the last couple years. I think he would be somewhere between 10th and 15th if he didn't get that penalty from Coda. But I definitely do think the two's starting to pick it up a little bit. I don't think he's anywhere near Logano or Blaney still when it comes to running consistently good. But I definitely have seen the two car running a lot better than it has in the last few years. So that's why I'm going to have Cindric in the same tier as Chastain. And, I mean, as I said, he already has his spot in the playoffs. So that's basically his season right there. Austin Dillon, I mean, he's basically been in this tier the last few years. I know this is the first midway video I'm doing, and I know I did a brief overview of 2024 before that video. I took it down, but yeah, Austin Dillon, he's not been running great. I think he's in the late 20s in the points, like somewhere between 25th and 30th, which that's kind of where Austin Dillon's been the last few years, unfortunately. If you're an Austin Dillon fan, I don't think it's looking up. I mean, 2026, he's supposed to be back in the 3 car, so maybe he can have another good season, but I just haven't really seen anything out of this 3 car this season that makes me think that he can win a race anywhere. Maybe Richmond. I mean, he won last year, albeit under some very interesting circumstances, but he was going to win before any of that, too. So, I mean, maybe Austin Dillon can show up one of these weeks and prove me wrong, prove a few other people wrong, but I don't know. I just haven't seen it this year out of the 3 teams. So I'm going to say it still is a terrible season for Austin Dillon, and I don't think there's anything that's going to change, unfortunately. Noah Gregson's been up and down, but I think it's been mostly a terrible season. He's had a few standout runs. Like, I think, didn't he finish just near or inside the top 10 at the Coke 600? Haven't seen the 4 car up front that much is all I'm saying. I mean, he's done better than Austin. Actually, is Austin higher than Gregson in the standings? I gotta check that. Is that I'm not sure. Yeah, he's ahead of Gregson. Gregson's 33rd. Um, yeah, I'm gonna say it's been a terrible season for Noah. So I'm gonna put him in the same tier as Austin Dillon. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna waste my breath talking about Kyle Larson. I think we already know where he's going. Championship contender as usual. 3 wins already this season. He's tied for the most wins with a couple JGR guys, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But Larson, yeah, he dominated Bristol. Didn't he dominate Kansas? I'm pretty sure he won Kansas. But Larson has dominated his way to 2 wins, and yeah, at Homestead he was close to doing the sweep, but yeah, same with Bristol, I'm pretty sure too. So Larson's been on a tear. Not much I really need to say about him. He's been good all around this year. Brad Keselowski, on the other hand, just one of those seasons, man. Just one of those seasons. Unfortunately, Brad is outside the top 30 in points, while his 2 teammates are battling for the last playoff spot as of the making of this video. So, I mean, as I said about Austin Dillon, really anybody can 1 week show up and they can save their season by winning a race. That's all Brad basically has to do the next 10 weeks. If he can get the right car at the right track, he can win and save his season, which, I mean, that's pretty much all it takes. Yeah, so I'm going to say, yeah, terrible season for Brad for RFK standards, unfortunately, but maybe he'll turn it around in the second half. Justin Haley, I hate to put him down here in terrible season, but I'm going to have to do it because it's been a really bad season for Justin Haley, and I'm not blaming it on him, obviously. Rodney Childers left like 7 or 8 races into the season or whatever. Like, not even halfway through the season, he up and left the team. Whether that was the team decision or Rodney's decision, I'm not sure. But the 7 team has lacked performance compared to its teammates really ever since Rodney left the team. They're teetering on the edge of 30th in points. I believe they're like, what, 29th in points, I believe? Yeah, 29th. So they're pretty low compared to where their other teammates are at. But, I mean, who knows? Justin Haley's a good super speedway racer. Maybe he'll win Atlanta or Daytona. I'm not sure, but right now it's not looking very good for Justin Haley. But hopefully, like Brad, he can turn it around in the second half. Kyle Busch, I'm going to put him at middle of the road, and this may be controversial for some, but Kyle Busch is still in the playoff hunt on points, though he hasn't won a race in like, what, a year and a half? I don't even know how long it's been. It's been... Actually, I think it's closer to 2 years. Maybe it was already past because Gateway was in, what, June of 23? Something like that. I think it's been like 2 years since Kyle Busch last won a race. But Kyle Busch, I don't think he misses the playoffs this year. He had a terrible year last year. He's carrying the banner for RCR once again. He's in the hunt to compete for the championship. Or, well, not the championship. I meant the playoffs. I don't think the 8 team's a championship contender, unfortunately. But I do have faith Kyle Busch will win one of these 10 races. He has to win at some point. But unless age is starting to catch up to him, which it very well could be. But I don't think Kyle Busch misses the playoffs. I think he wins before the end of the regular season. But right now, based on what I've seen, it's kind of been a meh season for car number 8. And I'm going to say the same about Chase Elliott. Now, Chase Elliott, when you look at the points, he's like, what, 4th, 5th in points? And you look at it and you're like, okay, that's not a bad season on paper. But when you see his teammates, Kyle Larson and William Byron, running up front competing for wins on a near weekly basis, you look at Chase and you think, well, why isn't Chase winning all these races? I mean, he's finished like 15th 5 times this year. So, I mean, when you look at the 5 and the 24, you should really be thinking that there's some speed in car number 9, but there really isn't, unfortunately. So, just looking at it, I mean, sure, consistency can get you far. I mean, he made Chase go to the round of 8 last year, but I just feel like he needs to start winning more, especially if he wants to make a championship run in November at Phoenix. So I hate to say it, but even though he's been quietly consistent, I just need to see more winning speed out of the 9 car than 15th place speed every week. So there's that. Ty Dillon, this is tough because Colleague isn't a top team, so I don't know if I want to put him in terrible or middle of the road. I mean, I'll probably put him down. I'll put him. I'll show some respect to Ty Dillon. Maybe. Just double check here. Ty Dillon right now is 31st in points. So actually, yeah, I'm going to put him down here. I know Colleague's not great, but I would have thought Ty Dillon would have been between that 25th to 30th range. Especially when you see how good AJ Allmendinger is, and granted, it's AJ Allmendinger, a veteran. Um, he's just not been up to par. Like, sure, Ty's had a few standout performances. I'm not putting it all on him. Colleague's not the greatest equipment in the world. Yeah, so I'm going to put Ty Dillon down in terrible season. I hate to do it because I think Ty's had some standout performances, like I said, but I mean, he's definitely not anywhere near his teammate, or anywhere close. I'm not expecting him to contend for a playoff spot, but Denny Hamlin, basically, I'm gonna put him in the same category as Larson. I don't really think I need to speak on it too much. Denny Hamlin's Denny Hamlin. Ryan Blaney, I'm gonna put him at middle of the road. Now, the reason I'm not moving Blaney to championship contender is because, actually, I guess I should probably, yeah, yeah. I feel like the underdog should be a row below, so that's what I'll just move him down there. But anyway, yeah. So I'll rename this tier. But yeah, so Blaney, he's really had one thing holding him back, if you ask me. The one thing I feel that's holding Blaney back is just the amount of DNFs he's had on the season. Now, granted, not all of it's his fault. I mean, mechanical failures, getting caught up in somebody else's mess. I feel bad for Blaney, obviously, when you see that. But, I mean, despite the fact he's collecting all these stage points, he's just not really got the results to show for it. So that's why I don't have Blaney up here with Larson or Hamlin. Now, granted, seeing how Team Penske's been in the last few years, they always turn it on when the time is right. And especially in the next gen era with Blaney and Logano winning 3 straight championships for the team. So I'm not counting Blaney out yet. I mean, he's definitely up here. He's got the speed to make a deep run, maybe go to the championship 4. But just with the DNFs and everything, that's what worries me for this 12 team, that these mechanical failures could come back to bite them in the playoffs, that they can get caught up in somebody else's mess. So I'm not quite sold on Blaney yet to be a championship contender. AJ Allmendinger, I'm going to put him in exceeding expectations. Allmendinger, he's in that battle to make it on points into the playoffs. Do I think AJ's going to point his way in? No. I think he's got to win a road course, obviously. That's basically his bread and butter. That's his best bet to make it in. So if you ask me, I think AJ's chances are likely if he can win on a road course, but I don't. Do I see it being likely? 50-50. 50-50. It really depends because AJ, I think, needs more luck on his side. Like we saw at Mexico when he got wiped out in that Kyle Busch incident. Basically killed the car, but he still battled back to finish inside the top 15, which props to him. But we didn't really see what AJ could have maybe had for guys like SVG and Ty Gibbs because he got that damage. So, I mean, watch out for AJ Allmendinger to maybe play spoiler at Chicago, Sonoma, Watkins Glen, where he's won before. Um, he could pull off an upset, but he's definitely exceeding some expectations. Chris Buescher, I'm going to put him in not quite a contender yet. I'm not fully sold on RFK speed. I mean, obviously it's been up and down, but mostly Buescher and his teammate, Ryan Preece, which, again, we'll get to later, they've shown some really good pace. Obviously, both are in the battle to make it into the playoffs. Buescher, the last guy in, but Preece, the first guy out. I mean, it's really tough to say because Buescher's shown some speed lately. Like Michigan, he scored a lot of stage points, and he finished second in that race. Buescher's a really good road course racer. Good at the super speedways. He won that Daytona race a couple years ago. So I'm not counting Buescher out yet, obviously, because we got a few tracks where he's been solid at before. So I'd say watch out for the 17, but I'd probably put him in one of those quiet contender positions, if you ask me, to maybe make a run at the championship. Well, probably won't make it to the championship four. Maybe he can, but I feel like you need a little bit more speed, maybe some wins, and then there you go. Chase Briscoe for JGR, his first year with the organization. I'm going to put Chase Briscoe in the same category because, I mean, when you're in a JGR car, your expectations are to make the playoffs, make a deep run maybe, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Win a bunch of races. Now, obviously, Briscoe hasn't won any races yet with JGR, but I'm sure he's going to at some point. It's just inevitable. I mean, he's 4 pulls this year. He won 3 of them back to back to back. So this 19 clearly has speed. It's just they haven't executed when it comes to trying to win the race. Do I think Briscoe's going to miss the playoffs? Heck no. Heck no, he's not. If you ask me, I think Chase Briscoe will be there. Maybe he could be in the round of 8. I mean, he made it to the round of 8 with a dying Stewart-Haas Racing in 2022. So I'm not putting it past him that, I mean, he could very well make it that far. Just he hasn't really contended for many wins this year, but he's had a rocket ship in qualifying, just not translated into the race, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'm confident Briscoe can be a contender, but only time will tell. Because who knows, maybe the second half will plummet, but I really hope it doesn't, because Briscoe's really put on quite a season thus far for his fans and both people that aren't. I'm going to put Christopher Bell, his teammate, in championship contender along Larson and Hamlin, the 3 guys that all have 3 wins this year. Now, admittedly, Christopher Bell has kind of cooled off since he got that 3rd win of the season at Phoenix, his 3rd in a row, might I add. But Bell has been hot and cold. Like, I think he finished 2nd at Mexico recently. So Bell's had some solid runs here and there, but then there's weeks where he's just kind of off, you know? So I'm still sold on Bell being a championship contender. I mean, depending which side of the fence you're on, Bell could have made the championship for the last 3 seasons. I mean, 2 of the last 3 he did, but whether you believe he should have made it last year or not, that's up to you. But Bell has definitely emerged as what I would consider the leader of the team, making the championship for the amount of times he has. He's been winning a bunch of races. I'm not counting out Team 20 until well, you see where they fall. Uh, Definitely the round of eights where they're gonna make it. If you ask me, that's been they usually make it ever since the next gen Bells made it that far. But I definitely think he's up there with Larson and Hamlin, who could be a championship threat. Josh Berry. This is tough. I'm going to say exceeding expectations. Yes, Josh Berry won that race at Las Vegas. Yes, he's in the playoffs. And he's doing a whole heck of a lot better than Harrison Burton. I'm not knocking Harrison Burton, but Josh Berry winning it at a mile and a half is a huge deal. It definitely shows the 21 can have speed any given week with the correct driver behind the wheel. But really, ever since that Vegas win, I haven't really seen much out of this 21 team. I mean, sure, they've had flashes. Like, I think they started up near the front at Homestead. They've crashed out a lot, which is what worries me. Um, but I mean, hey, winning at Vegas, making the playoffs, could maybe make it out of the first round. I mean, I'm not sure if they will. Maybe they can. Josh Berry can be that driver, if you ask me. But right now, I'm not seeing anything that tells me Josh Berry's probably going to make it out of the first round as an eliminated driver, because I definitely think he probably will be at this rate. But hopefully, he proves me wrong in the second half, because I've been really happy to see the 21 starting to run up front a little more often than we've seen it the last few years. But I can't go any higher than exceeding expectations because we haven't really seen much since that Vegas win that really catapults him to being a championship contender or anything of the sort. Joey Logano, I'm going to put him as not quite a contender right along with Blaney. And see, Logano, the thing with Joey Logano is he always is terrible in the regular season. And then when the playoffs come around, that's where he hits the boosters and he somehow makes a deep run and wins the championship. He's done that basically every time the playoff format's been around. But the thing is, defending champ Joey Logano, he doesn't have that many top 10s to my knowledge. I mean, he won at Texas, sure. Didn't think he was going to miss the playoffs at all. I mean, it's Joey Logano. He makes the playoffs every year except for 2017. But anyway, that's aside from the point. Getting sidetracked. But Joey Logano, I definitely think he's going to make it. Well, he's going to make it. At least to the round of 8. I think Joey Logano is going to go as far because we know it's an odd number year, and we know the theory out there that Logano always does well in the even-numbered years, and he sucks in the odd-numbered years. I think it's just one of those years. Joey Logano's in the playoffs, but he's probably not going to make it to the championship if you ask me. But yeah, there's that. Bubba Wallace, I'm going to put him also in not quite a contender. I've been very impressed with the 23's speed this year. They've definitely shown equivalent speed to the 45, which has been up and down, but we'll get to Reddick later. Bubba Wallace has definitely shown that he can maybe contend for a round of 12, maybe even a round of 8 run. Now, obviously, we haven't seen him win a race since 2022, but I think Bubba Wallace is on track to doing that. He started off the season hot. He had a few rough races mixed in there, but I definitely think Team 23 has the speed to be a quiet contender any given week. I mean, even on the road courses, Bubba sucks on the road courses. But he did very well at COTA. I don't think he really did much at Mexico, from my knowledge. But Bubba's just doing his thing. He's getting the points he needs, and he's trying to keep his nose clean for the most part, aside from any instance he was already involved in. But yeah, I'm convinced the 23 can be a contender this year. If maybe Bubba can maybe win a race or two, I think that'd be the cherry on top. But that's just me. William Byron. I'm going to put him in championship contender. Now, this season's been an interesting one for William Byron. He only has one win. That came at the Daytona 500, his second consecutive. And he's had a few chances to win a few races here and there. But despite that, he is the regular season points leader, which would be really good for his playoff points count. Now, obviously, I'm sure he would love to win more races to add on to that, but the 24 has been right there with the 5, basically the last few years. So whether Byron wins more races or not, I'm convinced Byron could maybe be a championship contender with that win. The consistency I've seen out of this 24, off the charts. So I'm going to say Byron could make a deep run, maybe even compete for the championship in November at Phoenix. But only time will tell. Todd Gilliland. Todd Gilliland's been a very interesting case this year because we all thought Todd's going to make a splash. I mean, he's in the flagship car. He's 26th in points. I'm going to say I'm going to put him this is tough. I'm going to put him I'm going to probably add a middle tier actually. No, that's not it. I got to move this down. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to put a meh category because I don't know how you want to rank Todd Gilliland's season because Todd Gilliland, on one hand, he's been okay. Like, I think Mexico, he qualified inside the top 10, but I don't remember where he even finished. Todd Gilliland has not really been up to par, if you ask me. I don't remember one race that Todd Gilliland's had really. Actually, you know what? No, I'll put him down here, actually. My logic, I think. We'll just stick with these 4 tiers. I haven't really seen anything out of the 34 this year, aside from maybe his qualifying at Mexico. Maybe I'm missing something, but I just haven't really seen much out of Gilliland, unfortunately. Now, again, I'm hoping he has a better second half, because I'm sure he can. Front row's shown some speed out of all 3 of their cars at some point or another. But I just want to see results starting to come in for Todd. That's really all I can say. I'm gonna put Riley Herbst here. I know I probably should have a meh category for like Todd and Riley, but I'm only actually. You know what? No, I'll let him meh here. Actually, I'll move Todd and Riley here because I feel like it's a little unfair for me to put Riley Herbst down a terrible season. Like, yes, it's a 23-11 car. Yes, it's like somewhere in the 30s in points. Like, I think it's like 34th, 35th, something like that. And when you see a 23-11 car, you would think that they'd be up near the playoff battle, like Reddick and Bubba are. Thing is, I don't think anybody had any realistic expectations that Riley Herbst was going to compete for a spot in the NASCAR playoffs this year. I mean, aside from maybe him winning a super speedway, which I don't see happening at all. He had a really good race at Mexico, though. I'll give him that. Till, his late race shenanigans where he got spun and merged right in front of traffic. But, yeah, no, Riley's just not really had a good season otherwise. I don't think anybody expected anything less out of him, in fairness. So, I'm just going to say meh to the 35 season. Zane Smith, I'm going to put him in exceeding expectations. Zane Smith, hear me out. Hear me out here for a second. I feel like he should be a meh. I mean, him and Todd are like 25th, 26th, both of them, in the standings. But the thing is, Zane Smith has had a few standout runs. Like, I think he was running top 10 for a little bit at Kansas. Zane's had a few flashes of brilliance this year, which, I mean, I think I've seen the 38 more up front than I have the 34 or the 4 car. Now, this is obviously not a knock on Gilliland or Gregson, because I know they're both great. but but we've just seen Zane Smith up front a lot more than both of those guys. At least in my opinion. Maybe I'm hyping up Zane Smith too much, but at least based on my observation, the 38's been the best car of the bunch this year at that group, and he's shown us more speed than the other two. Well, I mean, I guess no, but I think Gregson or Gillen have had speed. It's just they haven't had the results to show for it. Zane, I think, has. I know I'm talking a whole lot, and I think I'm talking over my words a lot, but I just think the 38's been the best car at front row in terms of like running good and actually getting the finish to show for it, you know? So that's why I have Zane in exceeding expectations. Cole Custer. Cole Custer, I was going to put him in probably a terrible season, honestly. But now the 41, I think, is starting to show some pace. Mexico, they got their first top 10. And then earlier today, Saturday, as of this recording, Cole Custer qualified inside the top 5 at Pocono, which, I mean, it's not, I mean, I don't know if Pocono is considered a super speedway or not. I mean, from things I've seen, it is, but I don't know whether you want to believe that or not. But Cole Custer is definitely showing some speed here. I mean, he was up front in the Daytona 500. He hasn't really shown much pace, but I'm convinced that this team is starting to figure it out. They went from 4 cars to 1 after SHR folded and at least held on to one of those cars. Cole Custer's starting to figure things out, and so is this race team. Maybe going down to 1 car and rebranding is what this team needed. Now, do I think they're going to be winning any races anytime soon? Probably not. But I think they're starting to figure it out. And yes, Mexico was a whole new beast, and strategy was played, which is what you could probably say about how they got that 8th or 7th place finish or whatever it was. Pocono, I mean, top 5 qualifying speed. Haven't really seen much out of that 41 car in terms of qualifying up near the front this year. So Custer's starting to turn me around on him in that team. So I'm going to put him in meh for that reason. John Hunter Nemechek. You know what? I'm going to put both Nemechek and Jones in this category. Exceeding expectations. Seeing the Legacy Motor Club cars up front a lot more often than what we're used to, I'm really glad to see it. I mean, John Hunter Nemechek's coming off a top 5 run at Mexico. John Hunter Nemechek's been running top 5, top 10 in a good amount of races this year. Like a race I can put to mind, he was running top 5 in before whatever happened to him happened. Whereas the Coca-Cola 600, I think he ran as high as 3rd or 4th, but then I think he faded back because of the track conditions at like during the nighttime or whatever. But I've seen a lot of great things out of this 42 car. They've been getting top 10s, top 5s. I don't know how many they have, but been seeing the 42 run a lot more competitively. I think they're 22nd in points. I gotta double check that. They are 23rd. That's still not something to scoff at. Eric Jones, we've seen the 43 up front a lot too, especially recently. They got a top 5 at Texas. They've been getting a few top 10s recently. So Eric Jones and John Hunter Nemechek are definitely starting to get those cars running better, and that's a really good thing to see, and I'm glad to see Legacy starting to figure it out, and their 2 drivers are starting to be a little more competitive, and they're racing up near the 20s and the teens instead of running in the 30s, so that's good. Tyler Reddick, I'm going to put in the meh category. Because, well, actually, no, I'll put him in not quite a contender, because I don't think Reddick's down there kind of deal. I guess I can probably move Ty Dillon up here, actually, as well. But anyway, Reddick, Tyler Reddick, he's had races where he's finished about where he runs, but then there's other races where something goes wrong and he doesn't get the finish he deserves, whether it's maybe a pit road issue, whether it's a spin whether it's his own or not. Like I think Charlotte, I think he had a top 10, top 5, top 10 car. I don't remember what it was. He had an incident coming off pit road, and that basically screwed up his finish. So he's been collecting stage points like Blaney, but instead of DNFing, it's just something always goes wrong for Reddick, and he just doesn't get the finish he deserves. Now, Reddick, where things are, he's probably going to make it on points with Chase Elliott. They're like 100 something above the cut line, both of them. So I don't see Reddick having a midseason collapse and missing the playoffs. I mean, this lawsuit going on where they may lose their charters. I mean, they are filing a appeal, the teams, to try and keep their charters, but I'm not worried about Reddick, Bubba, or any of those guys missing any races. Whether that's a thing or not, I don't think Reddick's going to miss the playoffs. I just don't see it. He's been one of the fast guys. Made the championship last year with 23-11 in their first appearance there. Reddick's been one of the elite drivers as of late, so that's pretty much all I'm going to say about that. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I'm going to put him in exceeding expectations. Not quite a contender. I mean, it's JTG, Hayek Motorsports, whatever you want to call it. I think everybody expected this team to be about 20th, 25th in points, which granted they are. But before the incident at Nashville, they were holding on to a playoff spot nearly halfway through the regular season. Now, as of recently, they've run into some issues with Carson Hocevar, which has kind of brought them down the order a little bit, unfortunately. Which, I mean, seeing how good the 47's been doing, I definitely do feel bad for Ricky. Been putting together a good season, and he's been taken out 2 separate weeks by Hocevar, and probably going to need a win at this point if they're going to point their way in. Now, did I think Stenhouse was going to point his way into the playoffs this year? Probably not. I think he was probably going to need to win either way, but before that incident, it looked like Stenhouse was probably going to have a breakout season and like not like I mean, he made the playoffs with JTG before, but he probably could have maybe had a top 20 points finish without needing to win a race, you know? So, I do feel bad for Ricky. Definitely feel like he could have had stuff going for him had he not got run into by Hocevar those 2 weeks, but still a pretty solid season from everything I've seen from Stenhouse. Bowman, Alex Bowman. Now moving into this. Man, I don't even know where you want to rank him. I want to say meh. Like, I'm not putting him in terrible because as of now, Bowman is still holding onto a playoff spot at this very moment in time. But he's had a terrible stretch ever since that 3rd place at Homestead. It was only, Mexico where he got his first decent finish that he deserved, which was like a top 5. I think it was like 4th he got. That was like the first solid run we've seen from the 48 in months since he lost that race to Larson at Homestead. That's the only thing saving me putting him in terrible season is the fact that he's still in the playoffs somehow after this rough stretch. If he, I mean, I still have hope for Bowman that he can turn things around. I mean, he's starting to show something, but that was a really rough stretch. Cody Ware, I really don't need to explain. I mean, it is what it is. It's a Rick Ware car, but it's definitely a downgrade from previous seasons. Ty Gibbs is a very interesting discussion, and I really hate to put Ty Gibbs down here because, you know, he is young. And granted, maybe I've had my grievances toward Ty Gibbs, but this year is not it, man. This year is not it for Ty Gibbs. He went from contending for a playoff spot in his rookie year to making the playoffs last year. And really, he struggled in the playoffs last year, and he struggled a big portion of this first half. Now, granted, Ty Gibbs is starting to turn his season around. He did get a third at Michigan. He's had a few standout runs with the car chief coming over from Spire, I believe it was, because I think that was one of the reasons that led to Rodney's exit at Spire, but I might be wrong about that. Ty Gibbs right now is 24th in points. Now, if Ty Gibbs was in the playoff hunt, like points-wise, I would put him higher. But seeing how rough the start of the season was, and he's been kind of a mixed bag, I want to say terrible season because 24th in a JGR car is not very good, especially when you look at his three teammates that are 11th on up in the standings. You'd think Ty Gibbs would be somewhere near those guys, especially with the recent two seasons he's had. He made the playoffs last year. Now, do I think Ty Gibbs is going to win any of these next 10 races? I have a feeling he will. Ty Gibbs is overdue for a win, and usually the third years where guys like Byron, Larson, Elliott, where those guys start getting their first wins. So I do expect Ty Gibbs to win a race anytime between these next 10 weeks, maybe. Heck, maybe he'll even win in the playoffs if he doesn't make it, but I don't know. I actually might... Actually, I'll move him up to meh. He's had a few standout performances. I feel like he probably should have won Mexico had it not been for the host of our shenanigans. So I moved him up for that reason. I was going to put him in terrible, but I've been thinking of recency. I mean, like after Michigan, he probably should have won Mexico, so I changed my opinion on Ty Gibbs there, but I definitely still think he's going to win and probably make the playoffs. Ryan Preece. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one to grade if you ask me, because I'm going to say Ryan Preece is exceeding expectations. Now, I think a lot of us know that Ryan Preece had those opportunities in the Xfinity Series with JGR and DGR in the trucks, where he won those few races. And he just hasn't had the right team. He's been with JTG and then a dying Stuart Haas Racing. But this year, Ryan Preece is definitely showing us that he still has what it takes to be an elite driver. Now, yes, he's still looking for that first win, but he's battling his teammate Chris Buescher to make it into the playoffs right now with 10 races to go. Now, obviously, that playoff line may shift if we get a new winner anytime within the next 10 weeks. But Ryan Preece has been showing some speed. So I'm not going to say that Ryan Preece is a flop. I'm not going to say that, we didn't expect this, because I feel like some people did expect Ryan Preece to up his game, because RFK is the best team he's been on in the Cup Series up to this point, and they've shown some speed. And this year, Preece has taken full advantage of that. He's battling Buescher. He just won a stage at Mexico. And I feel like the short tracks are definitely where Preece will excel at. I don't think anybody expected Josh Berry to win a race this year, make the playoffs with the Wood brothers. I think we expected him to elevate that team, but heck, maybe Ryan Preece will win a short track. Maybe he'll make the playoffs. I'm sure that'll bust some brackets for sure, but I definitely think Preece could be a dark horse playoff deep round guy. I know that was a weird way to put it, but I definitely think Preece will make a deep run if he makes it. Round of 12, round of 8, I think Preece can get that far if he makes it. Because he's definitely shown the speed that he could do it. Alright, Final four. Let's start with the newest driver at Spire Motorsports, Michael McDowell. I'm going to put him here. I'm going to put Hocevar there with him. I'm putting these two here because, well, I don't think Spire's up to the par of most of these teams you see in the contender category. Now, yes, Hocevar has shown some speed. He's got two runner-ups this year at Atlanta and Nashville. He's shown the speed basically everywhere we went, and then something usually goes wrong. I mean, do I think Hocevar is gonna make the playoffs? I mean, with the BPS with Stenhouse right now, I don't think he will. But I mean, we've seen some speed out of the 77, and that's really encouraging. Whether you like Carson or you don't, he's been very talented this season when he's not running into people, and it's just really good to see a team like Spire, who a couple years ago we saw as back markers, now up there competing with the likes of the Hendricks and the Gibbs and the RFKs and all that stuff. Same thing with McDowell. I mean, he's had a few runs, like notably Texas, where he almost won. And then he shined on the road courses. Obviously, that's where McDowell shines the best. So the 71 and the 77 have definitely been the cars to look out for from the Spire group. Not to put Justin Haley down, like I said earlier. Not his fault. He's having a terrible season, but this Hocevar and McDowell have shined a lot this year, and it's really good to see that. SVG, we're going to end with the Trackhouse boys. SVG, our most recent winner. He's locked into the playoffs, but I got to put him in meh. I mean, I think we all know why Trackhouse brought SVG in, because we all knew that SVG was going to excel on the road courses, and he's definitely done that. Just won at Mexico, and people are going to debate, well, should he be in the playoffs, should he not be? Well, at least he went out and competed for a win that requires skill. A road course is nothing easy, I'm sure, but it's not like turning left at Daytona or Talladega and lucking your way into a playoff spot. So SVG did earn the win. It's just the debate about whether he should be in the playoffs or not. I mean, I hate that it overshadows SVG's huge win. But we all know that Trackhouse brought him in because, well, the road courses are where SVG excels. He got the job done. And now he is going to put the 88 and himself in the playoffs, which is going to be really good for that team. Yeah, I mean, we still got a few more road courses up ahead, so maybe SVG can nab another win or two. I see maybe at least one more. I don't think SVG is going to get three. Maybe he can, but I think just having SVG in the playoffs is cool. I mean, I know his season has been great, but in terms of like Trackhouse and their cars, that's what I mean by cool. But yeah. And finally, to wrap it up, Daniel Suarez for Trackhouse Racing. I'm going to put Daniel in meh. Because Daniel, he's had some speed to get some solid finishes. Like, I think Phoenix is one that comes to mind where, Catherine Legg, inexperienced, wrecked, and unfortunately Daniel was an innocent bystander that got caught up in it and ruined his day. Coda's another good example where I think he had a good car, but then he and his teammate for that race, Connor Zilic, wrecked out. And yeah, it's been a really up and down season for Daniel Suarez. And obviously, seeing that Ross and SVG have won a race this year, I do expect Daniel to try and maybe go for a win. Because, I mean, obviously, Suarez is in a contract year. Do I think Daniel's going to make the playoffs? There's a good chance if he can. I mean, we got Atlanta coming up, Sonoma, two tracks he's won at before. But I definitely think seeing SVG and Ross win a race and make the playoffs, I think that puts more pressure on Daniel to go out there and try and win one of these things. Yeah, it's been kind of a mess season. He's shown some speed, but he just hasn't had the finishes, if you ask me. So that is my video here. 2025, halfway through the season rankings. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We got more NASCAR 15 content coming out. And obviously, we also have the Universe Mode content coming out as well. So, thanks for watching, y'all. And we'll see you for the next one.